But I actually always hate talking about trading because it always sounds like you're selling a dream. But it's 1 a.m. right now, and I was literally sat there on my balcony thinking and reflecting about how far I've come in this journey and how far trading has taken me. And I wanted to make this video because, yes, when every influencer comes on and talks about trading, it sounds like they're selling a dream, but I don't want to be one of those guys. And in reality, you're not selling a dream, because I'm first-hand knowledge of the fact that you can actually go ahead and make serious money with trading. And not just that, but you can actually see this repeated over and over again. I've done it. Some of my boys have done it. There's people that I know that have made serious money with trading. My students have done it. And I guess the reason I'm making this video is because I want to tell you my story. I want to tell you exactly where trading started for me and actually where it has taken me, because I think going through that story and telling you the lessons that I learned as I progress through that journey is going to be extremely helpful for you, because no one sees that. No one sees the beginning, the middle, and the end. They only see, Lambo or some fake guru or anything like that. So I'm here to tell you that trading's not easy. It's not one of those things where you can actually go and start to make money within a couple of months, right? It's not one of those things. But if you do dedicate your life to it and you do decide to go ahead and master it, it is genuinely one of the best pursuits you can actually go ahead and take. Because let's go back to when I started. I was literally in your position right now. I was most likely exactly where you are. I was in a 9 to 5, so I picked up trading during university, okay? So let's take a step even further back. I picked up trading during university and fell in love with it immediately, because the first trade I took, I made some money and then immediately lost it. So it was like a girl, right? You get that one hint that a girl likes you, and then she runs away, plays hard to get, and you cannot stay away. Trading was the same for me immediately. Now, I started in crypto, but again, the lessons are the same. I wanted freedom. I didn't know it at that point because I was just a little kid, right? But I was broke and I wanted things I couldn't have. And at the time, I thought those things were, a crazy holiday, or this Louis Vuitton bag, or these Louis Vuitton shoes. Now, when I eventually went and bought those things later down the line, I knew that wasn't actually what I wanted. But at the time, that was what motivated me. But moving on, I graduated from law school. I got 2 law degrees, a master's and a pre-grad, or whatever it's called. And what actually ended up happening was I thought I'd got my dream job. I had the best job at the craziest law firm you can think of, one of the top 10 law firms in the country. And I immediately knew that I'd made a mistake, because even though my parents had been telling me this was the dream, all of my teachers, I went to a very prestigious private school, and the goal was doctor or lawyer. If you'd done that, you'd made it. So in their eyes, I'd completely made it. But what actually happened was 6-7 months down the line, when it was actually the reality, and I was turning up every single day in a suit and tie to this office with my 70-year-old boss, who was just way behind the times, I realized very quickly that I hated this. I literally dreaded every single morning, and I was thinking to myself every day at work, how can I wake up every morning and be upset that I woke up because I have to go to work, or upset because it's a new day and I have to go and do this, or I'm gonna have to do paperwork all day. Now, that's when I fell back in love with trading. I'd been essentially away from trading for a while, and I picked it back up at this time, and it was an escape for me. It was something that I could do to dream and try to better myself and dream of freedom that in reality at that point I didn't think was actually possible. I was an extremely optimistic guy. I always have been extremely optimistic, extremely hopeful that things are going to get better, and I guess that played out for me. But at the time, I just was thinking that trading maybe wasn't possible, and maybe it was a bit of fun, and yeah, hopefully it'll take me somewhere. Now, that's where the problems started to come in, because with this dream of freedom came the ambition, came the over-trading, came all of the problems that you're probably facing right now. And what actually ended up happening was I started blowing through some serious cash. I was already in a situation where my rent was basically the same as my salary. So I was already getting into credit card debt every single month just by living. But put on top of the fact that I was buying funded accounts every month, I was depositing into a live account, and I was blowing those funded accounts. Let's be truthful, let's be honest. I was not passing these funded accounts, because who does at the start, right? But stupidly, I made the mistake of trying to go big or go home from the very beginning with trading, and I actually always talk about this nowadays because I remember doing this exact thing of the first funded account I ever bought was a 100K funded account, which was $500 or something like that. And the first day I traded it, I made a couple of percent and I was so gassed, and the next day it was gone. And then I tried to chase that feeling, and next thing you know, I was in £10,000 worth of credit card debt. And with a job that was paying me £1,200 a month, how the fuck was I meant to escape from that? There's no way. And this really led me into I guess a depression. Now, I never would say I'm depressed, but I guess it was. I was anxious every day, I was depressed. I had energy bills calling me, energy companies calling me, I had car companies calling me, I had everything down the line. I owed money to everyone, even my parents. And what I really want to tell you about this point is, when you do hit that rock bottom, that is the best position you can possibly be in, because I had nothing to lose at that point. It was either I move back in with my parents and start from scratch, or I try and continue to dig myself out of this hole. But either way, I wasn't sliding any further down. And that mentality there is what truly freed me. And if you get to that point, I want you to know how truly blessed you are, because where I am right now, there's so many responsibilities, there's so many, I guess, pressures. And when you're at rock bottom, there's none. It all disappears. From having everything piled on top of you to it all disappearing, because now you know you can't slide any further down, and the only place you can go is up. So that's what I did. Instead of quitting, instead of thinking trading doesn't work, I doubled down. I bought more funded accounts. I got into a little bit more debt. And then I deposited into a live account with borrowed money. And what happened? It played out. I just continued to work on my strategy, continued to work on my edge. And the only thing that actually got me out of that hole was actually taking a step away from the money. Now, I've always had an abundance mindset anyway, but this is lesson number one for you guys of this video. If you're going to be a successful trader, you need to develop the abundance mindset. You need to think that money is infinite, because it literally is. If the US government wants to go and buy a new tank or a new missile, you think they go and work for a certain amount an hour to save up to buy for that missile? No. They just print it out of thin air, because it does not exist. And I always knew this because I did economics in school, I went to law school and learned about quantitative easing and all of these sort of things, and immediately I knew that this was bullshit. But that is actually a benefit to you. Everyone says that and they think it's a terrible thing, but it's actually a benefit, because now you know money's not real, and now you know all you have to do is go out there and get some of it. Get some of this thing that is infinite. How easy is that? That's like saying, go to the beach and grab me a cup full of sand. You'd be like, oh, easy, right? Well, it's the same with getting money. But the shift that I made in my trading, and this is lesson number 2, is you actually need to step away from that money in order to actually make profits. So what I actually went ahead and did was, I deleted all my banking apps. I turned the notifications off on my emails, and I put my phone on consistent do not disturb. So I couldn't see the overdraft that I had. I couldn't see the emails that I was being sent by debt collection agencies, and I couldn't see anything like that. And then what suddenly happened was all of these worries started to go away. And when that financial pressure and that limiting mindset went away, that's when my trading truly started to take off. Because now I'm seeing $100 in profit on a trade, and I'm not thinking, oh, that's a day's salary, or oh, that's going to pay off this bill for the month. Now I'm thinking, okay, but how much more can I make? Now the problem is when that turns into greed, but fortunately I've never really been a greedy man. If you are someone that deals with greed, then you need to think about this differently. But right now, we're talking about the people who have the limiting mindset, and the people who are essentially struggling because they think money is so important, they have such an attachment to these funded accounts and this money where they can't actually close these positions. But anyway, what ended up happening was I ended up passing some funded accounts. I ended up growing my live account, and then I knew it was possible. And once you get that ball rolling, lesson number 3 is, do not take your foot off the pedal. In fact, the moment I knew it was possible, the moment I knew that this could actually be a career for me, I walked into my boss's office and I quit the very next day. And I didn't tell my parents. All I said to my dad was, would you be okay if I came back home? Now luckily, and yes, it's a privilege, but luckily he said yes. So I moved back home into my parents' house, quit my job, and the very next day I was gone. They didn't even make me work the notice period. And after that, I was truly set free because I'd removed myself from any of this financial pressure. And now any single dollar that I made was pure profit. So if you have the luxury to move into your parents' house again, or if you're still at your parents' house right now, make the most of it. It is the best opportunity you can possibly have because you are making pure profit on every single dollar you make. Right now, in Cyprus here, I make over $20,000 a month. But guess what? I have over $5,000 a month in expenses, probably over $10,000 if I include my business. So yes, I'm making more money, but I'm also spending more money. So can you understand how powerful it could be if you went and actually got a funded account or got a live account and started to scale it up with zero expenses? It could be life-changing. In my case, it was. And what that means is, don't be afraid to let your ego go, okay? Your ego is what's getting in the way with you because your friends are gonna laugh at you for moving back in with your parents, you know? I certainly know that. I'm sure my friends were too. None of them said anything, but I guarantee that behind my back, they were going, oh, this big hotshot SG, he's got 2 degrees and a law degree and he got the best job in the world and he couldn't hack it and he moved home. Look at where I am now, right? So if you let your ego get in the way, this is lesson number 4, if you let your ego get in the way, you're going to stop any progress from occurring. And that comes down to the decisions you make in life as well as the decisions you make in trading. A trading example would be if you're in profit and your ego is telling you that you can make more or you can pass a funded account in a day and then you end up blowing it, right? And the real life example is exactly what I just told you, not moving home because of what other people might think. And at the end of the day, the other people that you're worried about what they're thinking are the ones who are going to be asking you, how the fuck do I do this 2-3 years down the line? Now I know this firsthand because these past few months since I've been here, more friends have reached out to me than ever, okay? I literally have had 5 or 6 friends who have reached out to me in the past couple of months and said, yo Sam, I want to learn how to trade. I've seen what you've been doing. This is crazy. Can I get in on it? Can you teach me? How do you do this? And these are the same friends that went, oh, I don't know, bro, like, you had a pretty good job, I don't know, is this a good choice? What I want you to know from the very beginning is that the dream that you have is to be the 1%. If you want to be a profitable trader, if you want to be successful in life, that is going to be the 1%, the 0.1%. So if you're listening to what the majority of people say, the 99%, why the hell would you let what they have to say change the decisions that you make? You should be listening to the people that are better than you, the people that have done more than you. And that's exactly what I did. Now, I didn't have anyone close to me who could mentor me or anyone who was super rich in my life that I could essentially go, how do you do this? Can you talk me through this? Can you help me with financial decisions? But what you do have, that I also had, was social media. There's infinite people out there that are making serious amounts of money. And I know most people think that everything online is a scam, but there are kids out there making millions a month, genuinely millions. And you won't believe it, but some of these kids on WAP or these traders are making genuinely millions because they knew exactly what to do and they didn't listen to what those other people are doing. And that's what I did as well. I went on social media, I found guys like Tate, found guys like Iman. Now, whatever you think about what those guys do or what they say or their business practices, it doesn't matter because the things they are preaching, if you actually put them into practice, they work, you know? All I did was work harder than everyone else. In fact, my student Dorian, and this is not an advert at all, the reason he made so much money in 6 months, which is more than any of my other students have made, is because he spent 5, 6, 7 hours a day learning and backtesting and implementing a strategy. And that's exactly what I did when I was coming up. I would spend, listen to this, okay? If you think you're putting in hard work or that it's too difficult, listen to this. I would spend from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. on the charts trading London. I'd wake up super early and then do it. By 9 a.m. I was in work. So at 9 a.m. I'd literally walk to the office. It was a 15-minute walk. I would walk in there, get my suit on, and yeah, cool, first meeting, etc. Go, go, go. 1 p.m. would be lunchtime. What would I do on my lunchtime? Now, most people would sit there, eat their lunch, maybe meet up with some friends, whatever, watch YouTube, watch Netflix whilst they're eating. I was trading. I was watching trading streams. I was learning to trade. I was looking at the charts. I was taking entries because I wanted it so badly. And then the rest of the day until 5, I'd be working. But also whilst I was working, every 30 minutes, I would be in the bathroom looking at charts because I was obsessed. And you need to develop this obsession, because a lot of you guys are talking to me and people come to me nowadays and they're like, yeah, bro, but I have work and it's so difficult because I don't want my boss to see this. My boss caught me on TradingView 15 times whilst I was at work. And every time she was like, Sam, come on. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. Because I knew that I was destined for bigger things and I did not care what they thought. And then after I finished work at 5 o'clock, I would run straight to the gym. Now I'd literally get straight to the gym, train as quick as I possibly could, an hour and a bit, because I knew how important fitness was and I knew how important the discipline I was trying to make was. So I'd get to the gym, I'd train, I'd get home, it'd be 7:30, make dinner quickly, 8 o'clock, I'm on the charts. Purely on the charts. Now, think about this as well. During all this time, I had university as well. So it wasn't just a 9-to-5 job. I had a full-time degree, a master's degree in law that was going on as well. So I was mixing in my homework. Realistically, I was just not doing my homework and revising for exams the day before. But I was mixing in all of this with a job. And what inevitably happened was I was literally burnt out. But I didn't care because the deep desire inside me was way more. And eventually it got to the point where I started making money with trading, like I was talking about earlier, and I left. I left my job, quit, didn't pay my last rent installment, literally like, right, I'm going. You can have the apartment, I paid for the month, I'm not paying for the next month, give me my deposit back, I'm gone. Move home, the deposit I had on the apartment, bang, straight into a trading account, let's try and scale. And whilst I'm doing this, I'm making trading content because I know how important it is to have 2 income streams. And that was my dream as well, to have that second income stream from the trading content. And I just loved making content and I loved helping you guys out and I loved showing my journey. If you guys are truly OG, and if you scroll back all the way on my Instagram, you will see the videos from when I was just starting off. In fact, let me try and show you one. From when I was just starting off, literally they're still on there right now when I was an unprofitable trader. The Road to Profitability it was called. Okay, if you watched that back in the day, you are an OG and I appreciate you for still being on this channel right now. But I was documenting my journey literally from day one. I was showing everyone the exact process that I was taking. And that's how you guys know I'm legit, because I've shown you since day one every single part of my journey. And that's what I love about it. You can literally scroll back on my Instagram like I'm doing now. It's going to take ages, I'm not going to show you right now, but go to my Instagram and try it out. Go and scroll to the bottom of my Instagram and watch those videos. It's literally old SG, or young SG, I guess, just going crazy on the charts. But anyway, the point is, you have to want it more. You just have to want it more. It's the most important thing. And knowing when to want it and when not to want it is also very important in trading. And this is lesson number 5, okay? You can want trading too much. Now, when I'm talking about you want to be successful in trading, I'm talking about you need to be thinking long term. I was always thinking long term, down the line I'm going to be making this, down the line I'm going to be making this, not today. At the start I was thinking, okay, today I want to make this much, so let me take more trades. And that's the type of wanting trading, that's the type of overworking that is actually going to cook you as a trader, because that's what actually ends up obviously in over leveraging, over trading and blowing funded accounts. But if you really want it, you understand you need to work smart as well as hard as a trader, and you need to spend that time back testing, forward testing, reviewing your strategy, reviewing your journal, absolutely everything, just watching candles print on the chart, but not taking trades non-stop, because that is not it at all. Honestly, that is not the one. Now, realistically, this brings me on to level number 6, or lesson number 6, which is the market is a mirror. Now, when I say the market is a mirror, what do I mean? I'm not talking about price action mirrors. If you know my strategy, you know what I'm talking about, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actually the market is a mirror of your personality. The market is a mirror of exactly who you are. If you are undisciplined in your life, if you are, aggressive, or if you're trying to be too lazy, the market will reflect that in your P&L. If you're undisciplined, if you're unable to actually master your mind, the market is going to reflect that in your P&L. If you're someone who's over trading or doing something bad that's essentially not a part of what your life should actually be, the market is going to reflect that in your P&L. So the best way to think about trading is, it's not your account and the market connected to each other. It's actually you connected to the market. The account's just the middleman. Okay, it's your brain connected to your hands, connected to your account, which is connected to the market. And if you think about it that way, lesson number 7 is you have to focus on yourself. You have to actually go ahead and figure out who the fuck you are, what is wrong with you, and what you need to do to be a successful person. And in reality, you're gonna have to fake it till you make it. And I don't mean fake it till you make it like showing Lambos or renting a car or renting a yacht, whatever it is. I mean, you are a profitable trader already. You're just not trading like it yet, okay? You are a profitable trader because you have it inside you. You are someone who can be a profitable trader. And once you start to think like that, and once you start to think like a profitable trader thinks, that's when you actually start to envision that and act it out into real life. Remember, your thoughts become reality. This is how every single billionaire has thought since day one, okay? You heard that saying, you know, the millionaires don't practice astronomy, but billionaires do. It's the same thing, right? They realize that their mind becomes reality, and it's the same with trading. If you have a poor mind and if you have an undisciplined mind, you are never going to become a profitable trader. But if you have an abundant mind and a disciplined mind, like a profitable trader does, you will become profitable, because you're going to come to the charts every day and you're going to be able to act out exactly what you need to do. You're going to go ahead, you're going to do good analysis, you're going to be thinking clearly because you've exercised, you've eaten clean. And remember, those two are very important as well. Exercising and eating clean is massive for a trader. You're going to get to the charts and you're going to be able to do that. Then you're going to see your setup print. You're going to risk the appropriate amount because you're thinking long term. Then you're going to be able to close the trade at the correct moment because you're looking at the price action. You're looking at the market. You're not thinking about your P&L or your ego or your past funded accounts or what your mates think. You're thinking about none of that. You're purely thinking about what the hell you have to do to actually go ahead and become profitable. And when that actually plays out, and when you actually fix your mind first, that is when you can actually go ahead and achieve profitability. I promise you, if you fix your brain first, the power that you're going to unlock is absolutely monumental. And the thing is, you have to remember as well, trading is not all sunshine and rainbows, you know? It's not all just a crazy journey from being unprofitable to profitable, right? I've had moments where I've broken down in the middle of the night, 3 a.m., thinking, am I actually good enough to do this? You know, would I actually become profitable eventually, or is this all just a scam? Does trading even work? Because I know you guys are thinking the same thing, and I thought the exact same thing too, but these times are actually the times that you need to use to progress forward, okay? Whenever you're having these moments where you're so scared or you're essentially just breaking down, because there was points where I'd break down. I remember one time I was literally sat on my bathroom floor for like hours just staring into the fucking floor thinking, am I ever going to do this? Did I make the wrong choice? Have I just ruined my life by dropping out of uni, dropping out of my job essentially, and quitting everything that I had? Did I just ruin everything? But then you really quickly realize that actually this is just something that's going on inside your head. These are just emotions, and you have to learn to master those, and you have to learn to push through them, because at the end of the day, your emotions are not you. Your emotions are not what is actually going on inside your head. Your emotions are purely just thoughts. They're just things that actually happen, and you're not the actual thought itself. You are the observer of your thoughts. And when you realize that, you can very quickly realize that these worries that are coming into your head are just projections of other people's fears that you've already taken in from the outside world. And you have to understand that you're not built for the rest of the outside world, and you have to develop this superiority, right? You have to develop this a feeling that you're better than everyone else, because I truly and wholeheartedly believe that I'm better than all of you. And I hope you don't take offense from that, but I truly do. I truly believe I'm better than anyone else out here, any other trader, any person. I truly believe I'm smarter than everyone else. And you might call me a narcissist for that, I don't care, but look where it got me. Literally look where it got me. It got me from, you know, being in school, being in uni, being in a 9 to 5 that I hate, to out here. And I've always been smart. Smashed my GCSEs, smashed my A-levels, smashed uni, got a first in both degrees, got the dream job, and now I do this, right? But you don't need to be that smart. As long as you believe it, it becomes reality. And the point I'm trying to make by this is not trying to give you my cockiness or show that I'm a narcissist or whatever. The point is, when you believe something is achievable, it becomes infinitely more achievable. If you don't believe that you actually can do something, if you right now don't believe that trading is possible, you need to find a way to actually prove to yourself that it is. And the way you can do that is by looking at someone like me, trying to find someone's live results, finding someone who live streams on YouTube, or trying to find a friend who's done it themselves and actually made money, and just go and pick their brain, or go and check for results, or whatever it is. Just find someone who's done it and make sure you know it's possible. Because deep down, no matter what you do, if you don't believe it's actually truly possible inside your body, you're never going to do it. You're never going to be able to put your entire effort in, because your body will stop you. Your body is not able to put 100% effort into something that it thinks is pointless, is futile. It's just not possible. But when you actually unlock that belief and unlock the ability that you actually can do this, and inside your head you understand and you visualize it being possible, that's when your body will go, okay. Because your body doesn't know the difference between a visualization and real life. So if you spend hours and hours visualizing yourself in a position like me, what's going to go ahead and happen is your body's going to realize it's possible. It's going to put 100% effort in. And those little breakdowns that you have, and those 3 a.m. breakdowns, and the depression or the anxiety or the fear, your body actually always comes out of those a little bit better, and your brain. You always come out of something that's a little bit lower, a little bit higher. And actually, the lower you go into those lows, the higher you get. So if you're in a point in your trading journey right now where you're struggling, where you're upset or you're fearful that it's even possible, just remember that whenever you have these breakdowns and this anxiety, that is actually when you know you're on the verge of a big break. So keep pushing, keep grinding, because I'm telling you right now, it is entirely possible. It is truly entirely possible. I'm the version that's actually done it, you know? And yeah, that's the thing, because I just wanted to share this story with you because I really and truly love every single one of you. And the most important thing is Jesus loves every one of you. And that's the final thing I want to leave you with, because if you bring God into your life and into your trading, you're going to be rewarded very heavily. And whether you believe in it or not, go ahead and read the Bible, read the stories, because even if you don't believe in it, the morals and the stories and the analogies that it gives you is going to make you feel so powerful, I promise. But like I said, I love you guys very, very much. Make sure you drop a like on this video. Again, this was just a deep dive into my heart and just sharing you guys exactly my thoughts. Remember, it's all truly and entirely possible. You guys can truly do it. And yeah, I love every single one of you. Have a good evening, and keep trading.